You will not be able to use the e-gates if you are travelling using your national ID card as your identity document. You will therefore need to queue for the Border Force desk instead. At the Border Force desk, you will be requested to hand your ID card to the Border Force officer. They will scan your ID card to verify your EU settlement scheme status or pending EUSS application. To avoid delays, your ID card must be linked to your EUSS status or pending application via your UKVI account. Information on how to update your UKVI details and the identity document connected to your account is available on gov.uk. If you're an EU or EEA EFTA citizen, you will still be able to use your national ID card for travel until at least the 31st of December 2025. If you have a pending application to the EUSS made on or after the 1st of July 2021, you may also be asked for proof that you were resident in the UK before the 31st of December 2020. Once the Border Force officer has verified your EUSS status or valid pending application, your ID card will be returned to you and you will be granted entry to the UK. There may be circumstances where further checks are required. In this scenario, another Border Force officer will take your ID card to perform further checks. During this time, you may be asked to wait at the Border Force desk. Alternatively, you could be handed a pre-filled form titled IS-81 form and asked to wait in the controlled waiting area whilst the checks take place. It is worth noting here that despite the pre-filled form referring to detainment whilst further inquiries are undertaken, you may only be waiting in the area for a short period of time and could still gain entry to the UK once further checks have been completed. Once the Border Force officer can verify that you have EUSS status or a valid pending application, your ID card will be returned to you and you'll be granted entry to the UK. This process can take between 10 to 30 minutes on average, but it might take longer in some exceptional circumstances. If the Border Force officer is unable to make a decision, then it will be escalated to a caseworker located within the airport. If you haven't already been given a pre-filled IS-81 form and asked to take a seat in the controlled waiting area, the Border Force officer will now provide you with this and ask you to do so. While in the waiting area, you may be asked some follow-up questions and for documentation, physical or digital, so that the caseworker can understand your case fully. There is no average time frame for this particular process, but in exceptional circumstances, you could be waiting for over an hour. Once the caseworker is satisfied with the additional information and/or documents, you will be escorted from the waiting area to gain entry to the UK. If the caseworker is unable to make a decision after obtaining additional information from you, then you could be escorted to one of the interview rooms. Here, a Border Force officer will ask you a series of detailed questions relating to your travel to the UK and your current residency. A translation service will be provided if needed. There is no average time frame for how long this particular interview process can take. If the Border Force officer is satisfied with the information obtained during the interview process, your ID card will be returned to you and you will be granted entry to the UK. However, if, after all further examination, there is still not enough evidence to prove your right to enter, you will be refused entry to the UK. In this situation, you will be removed from the UK. If you have experienced issues at the border where you feel that a Border Force officer has not followed the processes outlined in this video, then please visit the IMA website where you can report a complaint via our portal, send a complaint via post, or contact us via telephone.